channel, then I feel like I would be upset, you know? Not really, actually, but
The only time it was ever really a problem was when we were trying to get well known on YouTube, and they, God, we've been around so long that we were around before the "Did you mean this?" thing, like correction on Google. So
oh,
like we were
wow.
around before that was the thing. So if you searched Halocene, like that's what you got, right? And then at some point, Google got really smart and is like, that's not a word. So it started correcting it to Holocene, which at the time was mostly known as being a song by Bon Iver. And that
Oh.
really killed our band for a long, long
Oh,
time.
I'm
It really
sorry.
kind of put us into this pit of not being able to, even when you're trying to find us, you couldn't find us. But
They're like,
they
"What band?"
finally got us on the dictionary, and
Hu
now it's
Hubes
now
Hughes like, "What band? Whose band?"
yeah, yeah. We can't see you.
We
Sorry.
can't
Yeah,
see you. What was that? Sorry.
yeah,
That's all this
exactly.
money we have, we can't see
Right.
you. Oh my god. Well, I'm glad it got sorted out because like I said, I was very surprised at again how stupidly I did not check your band out. So I'm glad that I
You're
finally
here now.
came around.
That's all that
I'm here
matters.
now, you know. I was just a little late to the boat and I think I feel like that responsibility shouldn't fall on me all the time because there's just so many bands that
There's
come out
so
there.
there's
But
so
I'm appreciative of the time. So, and I did pronunciate your name right. I want to say like is it Addie or
Addie is my name. It's
yes.
Halocene is how you say it, like
Okay.
Halocene.
I'm just making
We
sure
like to say it like Halloween. Like how would you say Halloween? Halocene. It's
Halcyon. Yeah,
yeah.
I did pronunciate it right. And then I don't know if you'll watch the reaction video and you'll see the gears turning in my
Okay.
head of just trying to, like focus in,
Yeah.
having a full-blown panic attack after it was over with, but we're good.
Hey, I'm Addie, and I sing for the band Halocene.
Woo! Yeah, awesome. Well, shout outs to Halcyon for coming on. Like I said in the reaction video, I did not try to pronunciate their name multiple times into the camera before I hit record. Just want to let you know it was straight shot, didn't do anything
Hell
special.
yeah.
But I want to give a shout out to Becky over at Big Picture Media. I've been working with her for God, I'm getting old, so that's how I know it's been a
Becky's
long
great.
time. She's great. I love her. So big salutes to her, and obviously big salutes to Halcyon and Addie for coming on. But I wanted to ask, as you mentioned to or me off camera, that you've been doing YouTube and just music
Mhm.
as a whole for a long time. But Halcyon, how did that kind of start out? How did that band form, and like just give me the origin story. I'm very much a nerd, so I kind of love knowing about band history. So spare no expense on the
Yeah.
storyline.
Well, it's a long story because we've been together 14, 15 years. I
Wow.
literally have lost count.
Kudos. Awesome.
But yeah, so I was in another band at the time, and so was Brad, my guitarist, actually now husband, which is really funny
Oh,
because people like to say, like, oh, how did you meet? And if you don't know that we're in a band, it's really funny because we get to say, we met on Craigslist with no context. That sounds really inappropriate, but we met in the band. So yeah, so I was just barely still in my senior year of high school,
hmm.
and Brad was, working on his production skills. He wanted to produce a female singer, and I don't know. I guess he just kind of felt inspired by that. He really liked working with female vocals, and so he found my Craigslist post. And when we met up, I was like, I really want to be in a band. Like, I'm just not. I'm not comfortable up there by myself. I don't really want to do like the pop singer thing. Like, that's not my thing. So I was really firm on wanting it to be a band. And so he was like, all right, cool. Well, my roommate at the time is another guitarist. So let's bring him in. So it was us three for a really long time. And eventually, that other guitarist, his name is Cash, he, had family and had to kind of let go of the project. It didn't really take off until much, much later. So he separated and kind of took care of his family and had kids and everything. And then Joe came in maybe probably 10 years ago of now.
Whew.
So as drums for us, and he's just he's the backbone. So it's just been us three for a really long time now.
That's awesome, and I got to give a shout outs to Joe. He is a machine on the drums.
He
I
is.
he crushes it. So big salutes. big salutes to Joe. But that's crazy. You've been doing it for that long, and obviously kudos for you guys
Thanks.
sticking it out. Because I think a lot of the times with artists that I have on, like that is a daunting task to just continue to do it year over year. And was there any point where you guys were kind of like, is this ever gonna take off? Like, are
And
we
all the
gonna?
all the
I'm
time.
sure.
Yeah. I think we just don't know when to quit. Not in a
Well,
good
respect, you know.
way and a bad way to our own detriment. Yeah, I mean, we spent many of those years not paying our day jobs paid for our band for most of
Yeah.
that time. We worked regular, day jobs. I worked at the bank. I worked at we actually worked at colleges. I was a financial counselor and he was a
Wow.
student counselor. So yeah, we did the cubicle thing, man. We paid our dues and stuff, and that's how we paid for the band. Eventually, we started making money on actually on Fiverr.
Oh,
So we
wow.
started offering vocal production work on there, and then also like, sorry if my voice is cracking. I just did a 3-hour live stream, so I'm
Uh,
like,
I feel that too. Yeah,
and
don't
we did
worry.
vocal work, we did custom songs for people, and that's kind of how we paid the bills. We also joined a corporate cover band, so we were doing like
Hmm.
weddings and corporate events and stuff. We were basically doing anything we could to not have to go back to a desk job.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I mean, the actual band Halocene didn't really start paying until I think we finally quit all of our jobs just last year. So anybody that says, like, oh, just keep at it, like eventually you'll get there. I mean, like, I think we're a pretty good embodiment of that because I
Sure.
think
Yeah.
we're like, yeah, just follow your dreams. And it's like easy for you to say after like 6 months you were signed to a label and got it all handed to you, like we've been at this for like over a decade, not eating ramen, barely getting by. So yeah, I mean, we actually approached a time maybe would have been 4 years ago that Brad and I were kind of like, this thing seems like it's really not going to take off. We really want to have kids,
Sure. Yeah.
and we don't want to wait till we're in our 40s, and it can be harder to have children at that time. So we're like, what, let's just go for it. Let's go ahead and have a kid. Literally 6 months after he's born, we get our first viral video, Chop Suey, and it's like, okay, all right, universe, why would
You're
you do
like,
this
you're
to
like,
us?
really? Come on, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. It was really inconvenient, but I mean, I'm saying my kid is inconvenient. It was just really bad timing that it was like, it happened all at once. That I've got this newborn child, and then I
sure.
also
Yeah.
like finally our dreams are coming true. So it's been a delicate balance that we have not really found the groove of yet. It's just madness over here, but
Yeah.
we're making it work, man. We gotta live out our dreams, and we're doing it.
I mean, also, we had the pandemic for a bit too, so
Yeah,
there was a lot of
there
there's
was
a
a
lot of
lot.
monkey wrenches. Yeah,
Oh
there is.
yeah.
So for you guys to again, I think if anything, it just shows your resilience as a band. And I think I gotta give a lot of kudos for that. I've been doing YouTube for 7 years, and I feel like
Yes,
that's a long time. So
it
for you
is.
guys to do 15 years or more,
Yeah.
that I gotta give you a lot of props. And do you have any advice for people who are starting out that are just like, I've been doing this for like a couple years and like I just don't feel like I have to work my day job. I still work my day job. Like there's tons of people out there that work really hard at what they do, and I feel like this to me is like my second job, but I love doing it. This is something I wouldn't trade anything for in my life.
Yeah.
But do you have any advice for people who are like starting out in a band that you can provide? Because obviously you got to have the wisdom to be doing this for as long as you've been doing it for. I would hope so.
I mean, yeah, I think unfortunately it is a lot of luck. Like I'm just gonna put it, it's a lot of luck. Like just don't get down on yourself if it doesn't actually happen for you. It's a man, 1 in a million. Like it just really is. And even us, like we're not crazy successful or anything. We can make a living, but
Sure.
even
Yeah.
still, it's not like we're a household name or anything like that. So it's just like to have those expectations of yourself is just really, it's too much. You can't expect that. What I do say, what I think our personal strength is diversification, not just kind of pigeonholing ourselves into one thing. Like even the band name Halocene itself, the reason we named it that is that we didn't want it to be, you know, confined to one genre, like a Suicide Silence or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like we wanted to be able to blend and change with times and like not have to stick to one thing. So being open to those opportunities and whatever comes your way. And you know, I think a lot of people will say like they'll see what we do, whether it be the covers or
Mhm.
the silly TikToks and stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh, this band's selling out" or whatever. And it's like it's only selling out if you're not enjoying yourself. So if you can find the fun, like all I think to myself is, would I rather be making silly TikToks singing an octave higher for no reason, sounding like a chipmunk, or would I rather be working a desk job, like selling people things? Like that's not what I want to do. So I would much rather be doing this. And for me, that's the driving force behind all of it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think if anything, like I like doing my job. Like I don't want to discount what I do for work. You know, I work in insurance. I like doing it, but like realistically, it's a job that I have so I can do the things I actually love doing, which is being able to talk to other people and sharing my love of music, you know? And so
Yeah.
that I feel like that inspires me to just continue to do it. Like I think that a lot of the times when I have an artist on, it's like they're like, "Oh man, like I'm just at kind of like the baseline, and I feel like, I got to give you guys a lot of props because like you are, I would say, pretty damn popular across social media.
Oh,
Like
thanks,
you
man.
guys have been really crushing it. And as I mentioned before, I felt like a true idiot for not checking guys out much sooner. Because I think that, it's everybody thinks if you're in a band and like you have a viral hit, it's like you're an overnight name, and that's unfortunately not the case because,
Mhm.
social media is so like in the moment. Like you could be like the coolest shit now, and then like a week or so later, like, yeah, yeah, that Halocene band, I don't know about
Yeah,
them,
and
and
it
that
happens that
sucks.
way. It does, it happens. You'll have a big hit and you're thinking, "Oh, this is it." And then you fall back down again. And then you got another one and you're like, "Oh, this is it." And it's like fall back down again. And what I've learned over that time is that you have to just live for the moment, like just
Yeah,
absorb when those great moments happen. That's awesome, but say to yourself, it's probably not going to last, it's probably not going to, and that's fine, that's okay. That just means that when it goes back down again, I got to come up with some new ideas and got to keep it fresh. And it's just inspiring, really. I feel like and you look at it, these a lot of them are kids that blow up when they're very very young artists, and they just have the world handed to them. They're miserable. Like
yeah.
they've made it to the very top. There's nowhere for them to go. They get handed everything and they don't know what to do with that. Like it's not like sane. It's not like a good
Yeah.
thing for your brain. So to have, even though it's really hard and it can be very like mentally draining, I think it's good to have the chase and to
Yeah.
not actually. They always say like, "Oh, it's the journey. It's not the destination," or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
the
yeah, I got you.
yeah. But yeah, I think that's very true.
Yeah, I think if anything, like it's continued my love of doing it. And I probably, speaking for you as well, it's just like you, it just makes you want to appreciate it more and more as the time goes on. And for you guys again to kind of continue to take that motivation and continue to put out great content. I think for me, it's like that's an inspiration in and of itself. So I got to give you a lot of kudos for that. And guys,
Thanks.
Halocene stuff is in the description. I feel like, it means nothing to say that, but listen, if you've been living under a rock like me, it's time to unearth yourself from that rock and listen to these guys. But the next question I have for you, Addie, is I'm curious, who was the first or like, first time frame where you listen to an artist either like on TV or like you listen to a CD. I know kids, CDs existed. I know it's crazy. It's wild.
CDs
CDs, it's cassettes, if we're really going back in time.
were a thing.
Those are a thing and I'm really aging myself. But I wanted to know who was that first artist that you listened to and you're like, I want to do that. That seems cool. That seems like what I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back really far for me. I started singing when I was like 2. There's videos of me 2 singing fairly well.
Wow. All
I
right.
was very like motivated, and that's what I wanted. Every single birthday wish, blowing out the candles. I just want to be a singer. And at that time, like you don't know what that means. You don't know that
Yeah.
it's a job and stuff. Like all I'm thinking is like I really like Ariel and she sings, so that's what I want to do. I want to be the Little Mermaid. Um, So, I mean, I think that there's a lot of them that come up. You know, Britney Spears was a big one for me. Spice Girls was a big one for me. But it wasn't until Avril Lavigne came around that I was like, oh, girls can play guitar. Like that's allowed. Because I don't think that really, is something that
Sure.
probably a lot of men experience. Is like that they're just, yeah, well, why not just play guitar? Like, but I didn't know. I've never seen a girl with a guitar before, and I was like, oh, girls can do that. That's fucking awesome. Oh, sorry, I swear on the show.
Oh, as
Oh,
I
sorry.
mentioned before, I make $0 from YouTube, so, feel free to say
Keep
whatever
on
curse word you
it,
want,
guys.
yeah. YouTube
No,
heard that one word and was like, "Alright, we're pressing
yeah,
next."
God. Yeah, I mean, when she came around, she was writing her own songs. She was writing about things that meant something to her. She was playing in a band. It wasn't just like when it was a live show. It was just, it was just different. It was different than anything
Yeah,
else I had been exposed to, at least at my age. And so that was what I really latched onto. Maybe a little too tightly. I had a very unhealthy obsession with Avril Lavigne. I tried to sound like her. I tried to look like her. I knew everything about her, like her birthday. I would make a cake. It was like serious fandom. Like the people that are obsessed with like K-pop, that was me. Like if I was like theorizing that she was depressed at certain times. Like it was so crazy, like absolutely insane. But that's I didn't have much of a life growing up. I kind of tried to escape through that. That was my
sure,
escape
yeah.
method. And I didn't have many friends at school. I was kind of an outcast, kind of. I had literally no friends at school. And
Oh,
so my relationships were all online. We had actually an Avril Lavigne radio station online. We played Avril Lavigne songs and had like a chat room back in the day when chat rooms were a thing. That was what we did. That was what I stayed at school all day dreaming of when I could go home and get to my friends that were all just like listening to Avril Lavigne. And that was kind of like where I found my group of people. And they were the ones that first heard me singing and were
oh,
like, you need to
nice.
do this. You have to do this. And they were the ones that encouraged me to kind of keep going with it. So, I mean, Avril Lavigne was a big, big one for me.
Do you still keep in contact with that group of friends? I feel like I have to ask,
I
for the
do
storyline.
actually.
That's
One
awesome.
of them is their birthday tomorrow. So yeah, I
Oh,
am always, yeah, we're
happy
hitting them up.
birthday.
Yeah, one was from Philadelphia actually. So you see that,
Oh!
like, hey, yeah. So yeah, we've keep in contact. We're not like crazy best friends anymore or anything like that. But we they're very proud of everything that I've accomplished, and it's just really cool. It's cool that they were a part of my origin story, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, it's a real, like, full circle moment, so
Yeah,
I love that, and I can resonate with the whole outcasting, like, very much so was myself. I feel like anyone that is a part of this scene, I feel like you have a little bit of a traumatic past, but hey, listen,
yeah,
we welcome everybody, so, it
yeah.
is what it is, but I love that, I don't think I've ever had that level of fandom for an artist, so I don't know if I can, sign off on that
No,
train,
there's not that many of us. We're a
but
little, we're a little out there.
I thought, as soon as you said that, I was just thinking about Hey Arnold, like Helga, where she had like that statue of Hey Arnold like in her
Yes,
closet. I thought it
yes,
was like that kind of like level of, obsession.
dude. I mean, I wasn't like praying to her or anything. Like, I had a wall, but had several walls completely full of her photos. Not just like, somebody's like, oh, got a collage. Like, I'm talking the entirety of this wall behind me, completely floor to ceiling covered. It was really, really bad, man.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I wish I could. I don't think I could do that here in my room, but like,
Yeah.
I got
I
enough
mean,
going on.
you're working on it back there.
Yeah, I got a little bit. I got a little bit, I gotta fill up some space. Maybe we'll get like a Halocene flag here,
Okay, there
Hey,
we
listen,
go.
I don't know if you have one of those,
Next
but
time
I'll
we talk,
check.
it's all photos of you. Like, oh, okay.
It's just I'll actually green screen back and it'll just be a photo of you,
Yeah,
like in my
perfect.
background. That'd
That's
be a little bit borderline obsessive, and I'm pretty sure your husband wouldn't be too thrilled about that. So I'm just gonna not do that just for the sake of, a lawsuit or any impending, thing. So I want to say this is all for a bit. just in case this
All
gets
for a
taken out of
bit.
just in case this gets taken out of context, which it would not. But I love that. I think very much. I gravitate more towards the people that are deeply obsessed with music, and I think that's kind of what I found a lot of love, even to the point of just starting to interview bands. Like that's kind of
Yeah,
my love, and so I like to be able to share that, and I appreciate you sharing you know the awkwardness a little bit of
so much
being a
awkward.
fandom. But hey,
Yeah,
listen, everybody's got those moments, so let
yeah,
us know.
yeah.
I think, let me think if I could, because Addie gave us a really awkward story, so I feel like I have to give an awkward story. Let me see. Can I think of a good
You
one?
cannot top me. There's no way.
I know I'm not gonna top you, but at least I feel like you're not gonna be alone in this situation. So now I gotta think of a really awkward situation. Oh, so this happened, I guess, kind of more so recently. I would say maybe like 5 years ago. I know that doesn't sound recent, but it was more currently recent. So I went to go see Angels and Airwaves in Philadelphia, and
Makes
I wasn't originally supposed to go to that show. So I'm being a little bad. I'm being a bad boy.
sense.
There was a show. So there's two venues. There's a venue upstairs called the Foundry, and then there's the Fillmore, which is next door.
Oh,
But
yeah,
like
I know.
it's literally a doorway. And
Mhm.
so I snuck into the Angels and Airwaves show because I was like, oh shit, like they're here,
Mhm.
like might as well. And some of my touring friends were just hanging out, so I just weaseled my way in. But I was upstairs, and there was a guy, and I was like, he looks familiar, like he looks like a band member. You know how like they kind of stand out a little bit, like
Yeah,
there's an aura about them, right?
uh-huh.
So I thought for a second it was Bradley Cooper, so I was like, holy shit, what is Bradley Cooper doing at an Angels and Airways show in Philadelphia? This is so weird, like why would he be here? So he turns around, and it was actually Matt Greiner from August Burns Red, and I had thought he Bradley Cooper.
You didn't
So
say anything though, did you?
I was going to I was walking towards him to be like, "Oh, what's going on, Bradley Cooper?" And he turned around in front of me, and I was like, "Oh,
That's
you're
not
not Bradley Cooper. This is not Bradley Cooper." So then I had to like panic, and I was like, "Oh wait, no, this works out great. This is
at
Matt
least you
Greiner."
knew, yeah, you knew who
Yeah.
he was though, so
Yeah.
that's great.
Otherwise, if it would have been very awkward if I just saw someone who looked like Bradley
Oh,
Cooper and then
man.
wasn't, and
Yeah,
then we had a great conversation. So I like
awesome.
that. But I'm not gonna lie, where I had a massive pit in my chest because I was
Oh,
very worried that I was gonna look like an
oops.
idiot. So
Yeah.
that was a big oops. So Matt
You
Greiner, you did look good. You had the long hair. I don't know what happened, man. You grow it out. It looks great.
can't say, at least you weren't like, "Ah, he looks like, the Hulk
I
or something," like
Well, I did say to him, I was like, "Not gonna lie, I thought you were Bradley Cooper." I mean, I'm equally as hyped. I wanna let you know, like, my level of Bradley Cooper love and my level of Matt Greiner love is
there.
there's right there, neck and neck. So I felt like, take the chance. It could be Bradley Cooper, amazing, 2 thumbs up, or it could be
Why
Matt
not?
Greiner of August Burns Red, 2 thumbs up. Listen, it worked out. So that was my dumb story. So if
Love
you
it.
see Matt, let me know how. Just tell him this story. Just tell him friend to friend.
"Yo,
Uh,
Bradley Cooper, what's up?"
Yo, Bradley Cooper was good. Oh man, I couldn't do it. Now I'm gonna be demoralized. So it's all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But the next question I have for you, Addie, is who are some of the artists right now that kind of currently influence your vocal style? Because obviously your vocal styles have changed from your Avril Lavigne days. So who kind of influences your style now more currently?
Yeah, so, I would say that Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm is a
Ooh.
big one. It took me I'm honestly surprised that I even found it, but it took me a long time to find that rasp and that growl within my own voice. I probably have only really found it within the last few years, but I've been a fan of her voice for I mean, basically since she came onto the scene. I was like, I always wanted to have a low raspy voice, and I just never had that. It was always just this very crystal clear Disney princess kind of voice. It was just kind of what came naturally to me. And then somewhere in the past few years, I just kind of started tapping into it a little bit more, a little bit more. I think our live stream really helped with that. Our fans kind of just started encouraging us to kind of do heavier music. And so we tended to kind of drift in that direction, and I started to really find that, and it's been the most exciting like thing for me because it's just something that I've always wanted to be able to accomplish. Her voice, obviously Amy Lee, Evanescence, huge one. And Haley Williams from Paramore, of course, all the powerhouses. Give me all the
Yeah.
power. Uh, and then as far as music, like we've really been listening to Bad Omens, Sleep
Oh, yeah.
Token, and Day Seeker is a big one. We love Day Seeker. Um, and I Prevail, another really big one. So yeah, lots of metalcore bands, kind of.
Hey, listen, that's you're right at home. This is the metalcore fandom, you know. I love it. And I gotta point out for Maleficent, I guys, the reaction video will already be out. You can check the links below if you want to watch that, you know, and watch me be floored by Addie's
I
vocals.
do.
But
I love watching. I love
oh, okay, great. Well, I'm excited for you to check it out
almost.
because I so I'll give a little tea. I'll give a little tea about the reaction video, but I was trying to play I always play a game when I have, like, artists on that I know I'm gonna interview because I do a reaction video, like, you know, an hour before we hop on, and I'm like it gives me in the mode, you know, it kinda gives me a good starting point, and then as well as that, go into the deeper catalog and listen to some older stuff. And I checked out Maleficent and I was like, this is really tight. And I was thinking to myself, all right, what artist is she gonna say to me? Like that she's influenced by? Because I was thinking more on like the side of like a Jennifer Hudson, like more moving into like the powerhouse,
Yeah,
like really, really strong vocals because
yeah,
I was like, man, she's got such a like drive to her voice. And I would be very remiss if I didn't feel like you were influenced by them in some way. And so I feel like I was shocked. I was a little shocked with some of the
wow,
answers you gave me. So I feel like
thank
I
you.
feel like you
That's
were
okay.
born a pop like
Yeah,
vocalist and then just like we're like okay, so
molded.
I emo's here and emo's like, hey, come over here, and you're like
Mhm.
okay, and then you moved over to emo. So I didn't Avril Lavigne was in my head but I didn't say it. But
Yeah.
I feel like that one was a
No, that
pretty
I mean,
obvious
that's
one.
pretty spot on. I mean, I would say like in my early days, it was definitely more like I kind of said, like Britney Spears and like the Spice Girls and stuff like that. I really love Kelly Clarkson as well.
I
So
mentioned Kelly Clarkson. Oh,
yeah, there you go. You
yes.
gotta win.
Woo!
You gotta win. So yeah, definitely. Like I was a pop vocalist, and I think it was just like a lack of exposure, and I just didn't really have the influence of like heavier artists at the time. It
Mhm.
was like I think it was more. I wanted to be a singer so badly that I only wanted to listen to female artists because I wanted to imagine myself in their position or like
Sure,
be
yeah.
able to be singing their range and stuff. So that's what appealed to me. And there really wasn't that many in the rock scene. There's kind of still isn't. There's definitely
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
lack of
yeah.
it for sure. So growing up there wasn't like a whole lot of reason for me to go heavier, but when I did find that, it hit for me. I was like, that's what I want to do. How do I do that? So it's been a goal ever since, just to get as as raspy and low as I can get.
Yeah, I like, and I think that one was an interesting track to start off with because I listened to some of the other stuff like Hold Me, Help Me, and Repent, and I was like, these are like arguably much heavier tracks that I think if I listened to those, I would have been like, on point. Not to
Mhm.
say Maleficent wasn't great. It was just like it's that perfect middle ground between I think like an electro kind of pop feel, but
Yeah,
also at the same time having a lot of great like metal and like hard rock sort of styling. So I think you guys blur the lines between all of those, which I'm totally about because I think it makes it more of a well-rounded experience to just have than to just be like, okay, you sound like Paramore. You know,
yeah,
I hate drawing that comparison to like female artists because it's never the case. Like you could have someone that is completely like not even the same genre and it's just like, oh, that kind of sounds like Haley Williams. And I'm like,
she's a
no, it
girl. She
doesn't.
sounds like
It
me.
doesn't. How are you connecting the I really want to know. I really want to delve into the psyche of people that think that every female vocalist that is in the alternative scene sounds like Haley Williams. I don't
It's,
understand it.
it is truly just the lack of females within the scene. And, I think Haley is the most recognizable one.
Fair.
Maybe outside of Amy Lee, but Amy Lee is so unique that no one really sounds like her. So it's like
Agreed.
very rare that you're like, oh yeah, that sounds like Evanescence. Like, no, they definitely don't. You know what I mean? So I think it's pretty easy to just kind of like jump to that and be like, that's what it sounds like when like uh, musically it sounds nothing like Paramore. Even when we were a younger band, we definitely got that a lot more when we were first coming on the scene because we were closer to that sound. I
Okay.
think
Okay.
kind of like more of like a pop. I don't want to say pop punk. I don't really know what we were, but I still just don't think we ever really sounded like them. I mean, we definitely loved them. They were
Sure.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Musically, I wouldn't say we really drew much from them. Vocally, I love her.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore her. I think she's fantastic. But it just wasn't really like I don't think we took too much inspiration from them at that time. But yeah, that's probably what it is. It's just a lack of females within the scene. And there's definitely more of us nowadays, but it is still much much less than the 50% that it probably should be.
Well, I'm glad I'm giving you the representation that I feel
Yeah,
like
thank you.
all the females. You listen. If you are a female artist, come on the show. I
Yeah.
love to be able to represent the female fam. I love it. So it's awesome, and just highlighting great music. And then the other artist that I akin you to is Christina Aguilera.
Ooh,
Arguably the queen of pop. So
yeah.
I felt like those artists, but then like you like threw those vocalists in with like dark pop, and then like a metalcore band, and then that's the Halocene smoothie, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of skipped over a lot of that because I got so emo around that time. So I was just like, I'm a kid. I'm 9. I'm 10. I'm 11. Okay, Avril Lavigne and My Chemical Romance. Okay, now we're just very emo, and so it just kind of like I didn't listen to anything else at that time. But it was definitely a driving force like pop vocals. I also really love Ariana Grande. I'm like obsessed
Oh,
with her.
wow, okay, yeah, I
So
would've gotten that too, yeah.
yeah, that's a big one. I love her vocal work. I think she's one of the most incredible singers. So yeah.
I also have to ask Addie, since we are talking about the emo phase, did you have any of the emo, like did you have the emo hair? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, you went all
Oh
out.
yeah. Oh, I was totally seen. I was so seen. No, I have. I said I was an outcast, and I think that kind of draws the image of like, oh, the black hair and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
well, that's a cool outcast. I'm saying like I did not have the wherewithal to be that cool. So yeah, I mean, if you like look up old photos of me, it's very funny. Like I was absolutely a dweeb, got the braces and everything. Like,
Oh,
um,
I know, yeah.
I wore exclusively men's clothing. It was way too large for me. I was just like dressed in head to toe in hot topic menswear. So it was. I wish that I could be like I tried to be seen, but also just did not accomplish it. I don't think I won that fight very well.
I feel like I was not seen. Like I feel like if you saw me, I don't, maybe I'll throw myself more so under
Yeah.
the bus and find like an old photo of me, but I did not look. The only thing seen about me was my hair, I think. That was the only thing that I had the borderline, not borderline. I did have the swoop,
Swoop.
and
Yes.
I had. This is how I knew I couldn't have long hair like that again. Was when I was working one of my jobs, and some lady thought I was a woman from like the backside of my head because my hair was so long, and
That
I was
was a
like,
very common occurrence at that
and I'm
time.
like, yeah, I think it's time for a change, Brandon. And then here we are. Now I just cut off the side and we're good. So, still trying to, I still got the swoop, guys. Listen,
You got
this is,
the edge, man. You
I'm,
got to
ho-
keep it
I'm
around.
holding, my,
Scene's coming back. You got to bring it back. Scene's on
so
its way back in.
that's true. The scene is popping right now. So,
It is.
we're gonna the YK20s. I feel like all the kids are now like I feel old for saying it like that. But it is
No,
true though.
let's do it.
All right, next, I'm gonna
Me and
find
you,
like
we're
the
bringing
I'm
back
gonna find
seamless.
like the skinniest jeans I possibly
Yes,
can, and I'll wear it to the Halocene show in Philadelphia. I feel like
yes.
I'll cut off the circulation in my legs before I even
You
make
have
it there.
to. Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
can't if you're feeling your feet, you're not a true scene kid. You cannot.
if you have poor blood flow in your legs,
Yeah,
then you are truly a scene kid.
yeah. Rawr.
I guys, if you watch this, let us come join us in this scene experience. Oh my god, I can't believe that. I'm gonna regret this. Anyway, so before I regret more stuff, Addie, the next question I have for you is a question I love asking. What are you currently listening to now? What have you been jamming recently? I always love to know what people are currently listening to now.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I said, we've been really on the we when we found Bad Omens, man, we were so blown away. Like I was really I'm on the Bad Omens train. I don't care. Chugga chugga. Let's go. It was so great. I just love the dynamics. I think that they were doing a lot of the same things that we really love. Dayseeker as well. We saw
Ooh,
Dayseeker opening for Bad Omens, and Rory, their singer, kind of had like a small speech that sounded really similar to kind of what we had experienced. That they've been around for how many years, and were finally like, really kind of finding their footing, and it was just really inspiring. And I just really resonated with that. So I love them. Brad is constantly pumping Sleep Token. I mean, I swear every second it's just constant. It's so great. Chokehold is our favorite song. It's on repeat. Anytime we can get some Sleep Token in, and then I Prevail just gets us pumped, man. Like we just
that's true.
if we need a wake up call, that's we get some I Prevail going. It's our hype. It's our hype music.
I love it. I feel like, I feel like that's a band that just gets shit on, because they're like, "Oh
Yeah,
yeah, they did the cover song,"
yeah.
and I'm like, we're a little bit beyond that.
It's so
So,
beyond.
so yeah, I imagine you guys gonna get the same brunt of that as well
You.
too, because you're like, "Oh yeah, they did that one cover on Holy by,
Yeah.
Sam Smith. Wow, that's crazy."
I mean, that's the thing. I just love covers because I just feel like it's so much fun to reimagine songs. And it's, I don't know, it's just a great time, man. And like, it's a great way to bring in a new audience that hasn't heard you before because it's really hard to get people, like you said, like to get their attention. So when you put out an original song, it's like, that's great and all, but if there's no audience there, they're not going to listen to it. Like people just have short attention spans. So we consider our covers to be like an advertisement, but at least like it's an entertaining one. Like
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
just getting this like, please listen to our song for the love of God.
Come on, man.
Stream the song. Like
I
that's
gotta
so
pay the
annoying.
bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
got you.
instead, we're like, why not just make free content that you're able to enjoy? That's kind of like an is it an ad? Yeah, but it's like at least it's an entertaining one.
Yeah, I thought for sure Addie was just gonna pull like out from underneath her desk. She's like, "This episode's sponsored by G Fuel," and I was gonna be like, "Come on, man, my interview." Okay,
Yeah.
that would be funny though. I hope you don't actually have G Fuel underneath your
we
desk.
we did at one point. We're not with them anymore, but yes, we were with G Fuel. Honestly, like at the time when that happened, we were so excited
Sure,
because it
yeah,
was, it was one of those things where it was like everybody had G Fuel
yeah.
things, and it was like we had never been sponsored by anybody.
I'm still
No
not
one
sponsored
had
by
ever.
anybody, so I get it.
If G Fuel came to you, you'd probably be like, I don't know, but you'd be like, oh, thank you, like I
Yeah, yeah. I would,
appreciate
I would
it.
feel like I've accomplished something.
Yes, yeah, it was a good relationship. I really liked working with them, but we're not with G Fuel anymore.
No good. I just did it for the bit. I didn't actually think that Addie was just gonna like be
No,
like,
we
yeah.
totally
She's
did.
like, yeah. So we don't work with G Fuel anymore, and then just give us like the real like lawyer speech. I appreciate it. Um, no, I also it's a perfect segue because I did listen to some of the stuff on TikTok as well. And I was just like, I wonder how much views like Unholy has because that was the one that I checked out on like your YouTube list, and I was like 2.5 million views. That's like extremely viral, obviously. No, so I was saying, like, just the virality of Unholy, like, I went to go check it
Yeah.
out on YouTube after I had listened to Maleficent, and I was like, "This has 2.5 million views on it." That's insane. So, first of all, awesome. But how do you guys feel? Because like, that I feel like that's blown up, like, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it was so cool because it was something where like we did the demo for it. I put it up, I don't know, maybe like a week or two after Sam Smith re- didn't even release the song yet. They were just like putting out the demo, and then we were like, okay, let's jump on this and just see what happens, right? And that blew up on TikTok. I don't remember how many views it got, but it was a lot. And so we were like, okay, well, let's just make a full cover of it whenever it comes out. So as soon as it came out, we jumped right on it. And yeah, it was one of those things where we kind of were influenced by the cover that we did. And I think we do find that very often
Sure,
within our band is that covering songs almost inspires us to find our own sound, if that makes sense. So
sure.
like there was a Billie Eilish song that we did way back in the day. And it actually kind of moved us in this darker direction that we're kind of in now. And Unholy kind of was that next evolution of that. It was like this very I don't sensual kind of era that we're in, I guess, like sexy kind of metal vibes. And I'm loving it. It's something that I don't think we ever really like saw our band, but like I said, we're very open-minded to wherever it flows, like that's where we want to go. And people loved Unholy, so we're like, okay, cool, more of that. Let's do Maleficent. So Maleficent is kind of in that same vein of like this
Yeah,
very
yeah.
like sexy, heavy kind of thing. And then we've got our new cover of Closer by 9 Inch Nails coming out. It's a heavy version of that featuring Lauren Babick and Kayla King. And
Ooh.
I'll just say the video is not safe for work. Like there will be a bunch of warnings on that. It is so overly sexual. Just a heads
I
up.
guess I can't do a reaction video. That the
Don't
reaction video.
react. Will be monetized.
Yeah.
No, it's I'm really excited for that. So it's kind of just like falling in line with what Unholy did and just kind of creating this whole atmosphere of really like sensual stuff. And I'm loving it. It's so fun.
Yeah, it seems like you're just having a good time, and I was like a
It is.
little worried for your safety with all of the like snakes and scorpions and spiders, and I thought
Yeah.
pyros are gonna start going off, and like the whole like set was gonna turn upside down, and I thought we were gonna go into like the upside down. There was just so much shit going on in
Dude, the
Maleficent.
snake is I love snakes. That was like a great time for me. I turned to my husband Brad. I was like, can we please keep this snake? I
And he was
love
like,
her.
"We have a
So
kid, so no."
uh, she will try to eat him. So we're probably not gonna do that. But the scorpion and the tarantula, I was not in the room for. I was gone. I'm like, I do not get that anywhere near me. I don't need to know that it exists. I was nowhere near that.
But it was like on your hand though in the video, so
No,
that
no,
wasn't your hand.
that was not my hand. Yes. Okay. I'm glad we got you. Yeah, we had the handler, the person who brought the animals, because it was not just random
Yeah,
animals, of course.
they just
Yeah,
went
we had
outside, and
someone there
you're just out in the back,
to
just
make
with
sure
like
they
a.
were safe, and they're venomous, so obviously we have to be super careful. So that was actually his hand in my glove. We're like, can we put this woman's glove on you and you can just like, yeah. So I did not touch that thing.
I
No
would,
way.
yeah, I was a little concerned for everyone's safety there. I was like, we got tarantula running around, we got scorpions, we got this big fucking
I have
snake.
been stung by scorpions before, though. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, so we have scorpions, and it's not fun.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good time at all. So I'm glad that no one was hurt in the making of this music video, and also that the animals didn't eat you or anything, or people on the set, because it just that worries me
Oh,
greatly. Yeah.
honestly, the worst hazard of that music video was getting the contacts into my eyes, the red
Yes, the
contacts.
right context. Yeah.
I don't wear glasses. I'm not a contact person, but I tested them before because I wanted to know to make sure that I was like doing it right and everything. It went fine. It was kind of difficult to get them out, but I was like, whatever, it'll be fine. For whatever reason, at the set, I could not get them into my eye. I was struggling for 30 minutes, not exaggerating, 30 minutes to try to get these into my eyes. They were falling on the dirty floor. It was
No.
so bad. And so we were like, Brad just like ran out screaming, like, somebody, just anybody wear contact? Does anybody wear contacts? Our videographer that was helping us out for that day, he was shooting the full band scenes because Brad actually does a lot of the main scenes
Oh, nice.
filming. We try to do as much as we can by ourselves, but he was like, I know how to do it. And so he came in. There was 3 people, no joke. Brad is over here holding my eye open. He's like putting it in, and it just will. I don't know what happened. Like if they shrank, I don't know what happened. They would not go in. It was so awful and so miserable. But we finally got them in and got those beautiful shots. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that
It
it's worth the pain.
I was gonna say it's definitely worth the pain because some of those shots, like I am not a videographer by any stretch, but I can appreciate some good cinematography. So I was like, yeah, these are some really cool shots, especially
Thank
like
you.
that end like zoom in. I was like, okay, I feel like I feel like you're like my paralysis demon. I'm gonna go to bed, my
Yeah,
bed behind me, and you're just gonna be like standing over my bed.
dancing over, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'll sleep
yeah,
with one
we
eye open tonight.
as much as we can ourselves. So Brad filmed anything that he's not in. He filmed that, and then he edited it all completely himself. The all the production on the song is all him. So he's just a
What a
multi-talented.
workhorse. Big
Yeah,
salutes, Brad.
truly. Yes,
Salutes. Just crushing it.
he
I got to
really
give you
is.
the love. So that's awesome. As someone, from one workhorse to another, I get it. So much love. But I wanted to know how you guys go about picking the cover songs because I normally have a question where I ask, if there's a song you would like to cover in the future, but I just feel like, you guys just cover what you like to cover and that's great. I mean, if you want to drop a suggestion in the comments, like, absolutely
Yeah.
go do that. But, how do you guys go about picking out the songs that you guys like cover? Is there any sort of like poll that people can get involved with or like, how do you guys go about picking those songs?
Yeah, I mean, it's everything, right? I mean, like Unholy we just noticed was going viral and we're like,
Sure, sure,
let's
sure.
try it. That sounds awesome. I would love to do that. And that was kind of a very obvious one. But I would say that a lot of our covers are just fan requested.
Oh,
I would say a good like 80% of them are things that we live stream a few times a week, and during that live stream you are able to request a live learn of a song. So people will pay for us to kind of disappear for 10 minutes and do our best to try to like learn a song. And sometimes those become so popular on our live stream, they just keep getting requested and requested and requested. And we're like, I guess we should do a full cover of this. That was what happened with Popular Monster
oh,
by Falling in Reverse. We would have never thought to cover that. I think we mostly stick to like older kind of stuff, Evanescence and kind of
yeah,
the nostalgia,
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
that's what we know. And so we didn't even know that song existed, and then they just kept requesting it, and we were like, I guess we should do that, and it's one of our most successful covers. "Kickstart My Heart" was another one by Motley Crue, which is like a
Wow.
totally different song,
Yeah.
like completely different genre. And so, like, we would never think like that's one of my favorite songs of all time. I absolutely love Motley Crue. And so like as much as I love that song, I was like, we're not gonna cover that. That's so weird. Why would why, why would we cover some random song from 80s, 90s? I don't remember what that is. But like that was such a weird thought to us, but it kept getting requested on our live stream, and they were like, you need to do a full cover of this. They know us better than we do. I think that they know better. And so that's just what we just started following their lead, and it's been really successful.
That's awesome. Well, guys, if you do have any suggestions, I'll also
Yeah.
leave their Twitch handle. Go check it out down below. And then you can, listen. I always talk about being a part of the fandom. Now you have the opportunity. You can make your voice be known. I feel like since I'm doing the interview with Addie, I have to give my suggestion. Um,
Okay.
hmm. You do I did see you covered, like, a lot of Linkin Park,
Yes.
you obviously have done some Evanescence. I don't know if you've
Yes.
done any Paramore, so I don't wanna feel like I'm feeding into a little bit, so I'm gonna pass on doing that. Um, man, what do I feel like they would crush? I feel like, K-pop is really seeing its resurgence right now. I feel like you guys could do a K-pop song, you know.
Dude.
I would say maybe well, I've been shout outs to my roommate. He really got me into this band called Twice, and I know they've been doing really well.
Yes.
I absolutely love Twice, so I feel like a Twice song would be amazing. I
Twice
don't know
would be
Twice.
amazing. I'm not totally familiar with their catalog, but actually Lauren Babick of all people played Twice on our tour a lot of the time. She'll put her on in the van. So it's like really fun for us to jam out to. We love K-pop. Anytime Lauren and I are in the front seats, we're playing K-pop or Ariana Grande. It's very fun.
That seems like a party to me. I like it.
Yeah.
I've been really kind of investing in K-pop music, and I think that has a lot to do with my roommate. But I'm really getting trying to dig a little deeper into that catalog. Yeah, like New Jeans, I've been really vibing out with as well. Great, another great group as well. Give us any great suggestions for K-pop music, because I think there's a lot of underrated K-pop artists. They always talk about like BTS, like the people that you see the most on the screen. But there's some smaller K-pop bands that feel like deserve your love. So go check them out.
So amazing. Yeah.
But the next question I have for you, Addie, another important and relevant question here. What is your favorite food to eat?
Oh, all of it. I love food. I love food. I love unhealthy food. Just give me food. I want it. No, I'm actually pescatarian, so I actually don't
Oh,
eat a lot of certain things, but I do still love me some junk food. Um, I'm from Arizona, so give me a good Mexican bean and cheese burrito, just classic, nice and simple. And then ice. I have ice cream every single night, like every single night. It's Nick's ice cream. It's the high protein, low
oh, okay.
calorie, whatever. But
Yeah.
dude, I just ice cream, man. Um,
What's your favorite
yeah.
flavor? Do you have a favorite flavor?
So I think like I go back and forth between mint chocolate chip and like cherry chocolate of some sort. I like a refreshing and then chocolate. But anything
Oh,
like that
yeah,
is
I
for
did
me.
I did notice that. You did pick 2 things with chocolate,
Yes.
like mint
Yeah.
chocolate, cherry chocolate. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Anything with kind of like even like a strawberry with a little bit of chocolate. Just make sure there's chocolate in it. I'm good.
I feel that as someone I don't really eat a lot of sweets. I'm not a big sweets person, but if I do indulge myself and I have some ice cream or what have you, I'm a cookie dough guy. I'm
Okay.
about that. I love a good like vanilla ice cream, and then you get the cookie dough stuff. I don't know any of the like vegan versions. I am not vegan,
Yeah.
but for some reason they just taste better. I don't know. I'll argue that point. I love a good vegan ice cream. So let me
Yeah,
know.
I made it sound like I'm just like eating junk food all day. I don't actually do. I'm pretty conscious of what I eat. But I just love food so much. So all the food, give it to me. All the food, I will
All the
take it.
food. Well,
Yeah,
listen, we'll all have to collectively get a good eat in Philly.
please,
So
please.
I don't know if you could have a cheesesteak because obviously I don't think that's very pescatarian of you.
No, no, but I mean, that's the problem with being on tour is you would think like, oh, but all the food that you get to eat, but it's like we have a very limited time to get to the venue. So usually we're stopping somewhere and eating fast food. And then after the show, everything's closed. So it's like you don't get
Or you
good
go
food
you
ever.
go to Wawa, if you're in
Yes.
Philadelphia. So, that's open
I
all the
do
time.
love me some Wawa.
Oh, okay, good. There we go. I'm not either side. I want to let everybody know I'm not gonna choose a side because this it's mean and you guys shouldn't be mean. If you like Sheets, great. If you like Wawa, great. It doesn't matter. We're
I
here.
definitely lean towards Sheets, but Wawa's pretty dope. I
All
do
right.
like it.
All right. Yeah. See, I feel, Addie and I are on the same team. I
Yeah,
like that. Can't, there's great things about different, different
we're
places.
the Switzerland of gas station food.
Yes, I like that's the stance we have taken. The next question I have for you, Addie, is for people who are maybe not as familiar with Halocene and they're watching this interview, what song would you recommend to a new listener to check out first to kind of give them an idea of your sound?
Oh, um, dude, probably Unholy. Just
Ooh,
because I
okay.
feel like it is a very good representation of what our originals are kind of like leaning towards too, like as far as that sound goes. But it is a song that you probably know already. So it's kind of like an easier listen. And then hopefully that hooks you in and you want to listen to some originals as well.
I just went straight for it. I just went through all the originals, So you can take
Yeah,
the road less traveled if you want, or you can take the
I
immediate
love it.
exit, to get off the highway to Halocene. So either one, check them out. Listen, all the links are gonna be in the description. Go check them out. But the next question I have for you, Addie, is if you could have a dream collaboration on an up and coming Halocene song, who would you love to work with?
Ooh, that is so hard. Um, Gosh, I don't know. I think okay, if we're talking like dream collaboration,
Yeah,
this
give
is
me
probably
one that's
never
like
happening.
realistic. Give me a realistic one that
Oh,
you feel like is like in reach. Like you have the connects. It could happen. You could call. You pick up the phone. You could be like, okay, we could do this. And then one that's just like,
ridiculous. Yeah.
we manifest it.
I really want to work with Rain Paris. I love her. She's
Wow.
fantastic. So she does a lot of covers as well. I think she just released an original song and it was sick. Like it was really good. I adore her. I think she's really talented and I love her voice. So I think that would be like a realistic one. Like we've kind of talked and like it's
Okay.
maybe gonna happen kind of thing. So it's like that's a possible one. And if we're just talking like shooting for the stars, it's definitely not going to happen. I think, even though I'm not a fan so much anymore, I have to honor my inner ridiculous, crazy fandom and collaborate with Avril Lavigne because that would be sacrilegious to not do that for my poor 14-year-old self that would have died for that opportunity.
I would take a bullet for Avril Lavigne. I got you. Yeah, I
Not
respect that.
anymore, but I definitely would have when I was 14. Sorry, Avril, you're fantastic, but I that's not but yeah,
Oh,
I would have done anything. I had like dreams at night. Oh, we were not gonna get into that. But yeah, I was like, I'm gonna meet her someday and she's gonna be like, you have such a great voice. And it's just so funny. So embarrassing.
well, I mean, you do have a great voice, so I feel like that, she was on point with the answer. So, guys, listen, we are gonna make this dream happen, all right? And in fact, we are. I have faith. I feel it in my gut that we can do it. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to go onto your favorite social media platform, whether it be Instagram or Twitter. Because listen,
Stop
Twitter's a
Avril
wasteland
Lavigne.
right now. So
Oh
we might as well just like send the troops in. So listen, the
yeah, as well.
Halocene, you tag Halocene, you tag Avril Lavigne, and then you tag what was her I want to get her name right. It was who was the first one you mentioned?
Oh, Rain Paris.
Rain
Yeah.
Paris. So you tag all
Yeah.
three of them and then you type in the word
Yeah.
collab. And listen, I didn't go to legal school. I'm not a lawyer. But, you know, I have to say if it's on the internet, there's a good chance it's real. So if you want to, make that dream a reality, and fulfill Eddie's 14-year-old dream.
Yeah.
I listen, I believe in that dream, So if you want to make it happen, I'm going to tweet about it after this interview's over with and then, you
Oh my
guys can
gosh.
retweet it. So, listen, I just want to
All right.
know that I've been a part of the history of that. I don't want to take any sort of like monetary investment. I don't want any of that. Like I would
Oh,
rather just know that I have done it and
you
that's
have
it.
provided,
I have
and I
provided.
love that.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Zero
I'll
credit.
take
I want
it.
to take zero credit for it. I just want to know that I was the one who made it happen. and that you guys helped out. That's what we're here for, community. So if you want to make that happen, that'd be amazing. And I feel like, I would shed a tear. So, if you want to make me cry, which is not very hard, you can do that.
It would make me cry a lot of tears. Definitely. That would be incredible.
We would just video chat like this, and we'd both be crying. So there you go. We would just be, yeah, that would be the thumbnail for this video. The the next question I have for you, Addie, is what would be your dream tour lineup?
Oh, do they have to be alive?
Preferably. I feel like we
Okay.
don't have the technology to bring someone back to life quite yet, so just want to put that out there.
Okay. Wait, am I in it? Or are we just talking like just
Oh,
in general?
absolutely. We
Oh,
we are talking
okay.
about your band and 4 other
Okay.
bands. So we are just absolutely stacking this out.
Shit. Okay. Uh, okay, this is so hard because I can't decide if I want to go nostalgia or like current like obsessions.
You
Okay.
could split it
I
down the middle.
I think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to choose a ridiculous mishmash of people.
I
All
love it.
right. We're going. My Chemical Romance has got to be
Woo!
there.
All right.
Evanescence has got to be there.
Yeah.
And then
Respect.
I think I'm I'm throwing Bad Omens on there
Oh, okay.
because I'm so obsessed. I
All right.
can't.
All right.
And fuck it. We're putting Motley Crue on there because I don't care. It makes no sense. This lineup there's no sense to it. It doesn't need to make any sense. It's just a bunch of fucking awesome. That's it.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
whole
that's
lineup.
the tour. It's a bunch
That's
of
the
fucking
tour.
awesome.
And just like it's a bunch of fucking awesome. Motley Crue would not play that. They'd be like,
Yeah.
what
I
are we
don't know.
doing here?
They could do it. Listen, if the bag's fat, I mean, come on. I don't think anybody's gonna say no to that.
I think that's all they're playing for at this point. It's just
Hey,
how
well,
much.
listen, that's it.
Have you seen that thing about like they are playing the backtracks, like including the drums? The drums are also backtracks.
Oh my
That's
god.
so ridiculous.
Just
That is
just
so
imagine.
insane.
I just want to.
Wow.
I just want to imagine for a second. If you are a Motley Crue fan, you are just there to watch them do karaoke.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. Like I realize that my obsession with Motley Crue is completely irrational. They have basically no talent. They're not really doing anything up there. It's all just complete fandom nostalgia. Just like it's just hype, man. I don't know.
Why would like you're touring with them? Why are you taking a shit on them?
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, they're incredible. Vince Neil can definitely sing all the words correctly. Have you seen this? There's this video.
I have seen the video.
Okay, so you know it's very funny.
I do know.
I hope the man can laugh at himself because it is just it's so great. It's just so great.
Oh
But I
no.
am like literally I'm about to get a Kickstart My Heart tattoo. Like that's I'm obsessed with that band. I don't
I
care.
just find the irony in what you just said. You're just like, yeah, so they're basically a karaoke show, and then you might as well have just followed it up with the tattoo artist tattooing you right now
Well,
as we're talking about it.
yes,
You just hear
that's
the buzzing sound, and we're just like, yeah, so yeah, and I'm also just getting a tattoo.
it. See, I don't know. I'm sure most artists are not like that, but like I personally, and people's view is different than
Sure,
us.
sure,
Like
sure, sure.
I don't think we're that good. I think we're very subpar as musicians, but I don't care. Like I love what we do, and I feel like being able to laugh at yourself, like how many times on our live streams we sound absolutely horrible because we're trying something for the first time or whatever. Like we're just so lighthearted about it. I just don't think it's that serious, and like I don't know, man. Like, I just think if you can't laugh at yourself, you. What are you doing with your life? Like, it's not that serious, man.
Yeah, I make fun of myself all the time, so I get it. Like you gotta laugh at yourself before you can laugh at other people. It's the nice thing. Everybody can't be so, like, you gotta like chill out.
Perfection is not real. Like, you can
Yeah.
still just appreciate like certain things. Like, oh, it's like everybody's like, oh, I hate Nickelback, and it's like, fuck, Nickelback's pretty good, man. They're not that bad. I don't know why we're all hating on Nickelback right now.
Who knows? Yeah. Well, that is a secret that no one will ever know about. I don't think. That's just it's gonna go an untold mystery.
Jumping on the hate train.
I hope not. Um, the next question I have for you, Addie, is in your opinion, who puts on a great live performance? I know we were talking about performances that were like less than stellar. So, who puts on
Mhm.
a great live performance?
I think My Chemical Romance was one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. I saw them on their Black Parade tour.
Oh,
Yeah, I got to see that. So they played that front to back, and it was just theatrical, ridiculous, really great. Aerosmith was another one, just fantastic. The musicianship is incredible. The live show is just, I mean, how many years have they got under their belt that
oh yeah.
they know what they're doing? And then I actually, even though it wasn't like I'll pick like a lesser one we kind of mentioned before, Dayseeker. I just think the production is so good. They just sound, I don't want to say they sound exactly like the record. I actually think they sound better.
I would agree.
But
Yeah.
yeah, just Rory's pitch is incredible, and the way he's able to go in screams like that. And then just all the musicians are just fantastic. They just sound incredible.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think seeing like Dayseeker from early on in the days where,
Yeah.
obviously they were much heavier and enjoying that. But I feel like now seeing them, the most current time I saw them was maybe like about a year ago. And they're just so great. I think Rory just continues to get better. I'd love to. That was my collaborator that I would love to hope for you guys to
Oh
collaborate with
yeah.
is. I
Oh
think
man.
yours and Rory's voice.
Oh,
Oh,
I
amazing.
would die. I would die. Yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah, Rory, if you're watching this, because I know you've been on the channel before, so like, could you do me a favor? Do me a solid. That I feel like, then I would, feel completed. So I'll add Dayseeker to that
Amazing.
roster
Yes,
of people that we were tweeting about earlier, so definitely do that up.
please.
Um, next question for you, Addie, is favorite TV show, favorite movie?
Oh man. Okay. Favorite TV show. This is not a very popular show, so I don't know if many people know about it. It's a show called Mr. Robot. It's no
Oh
longer on.
yes, it's great. Yeah, I do know
Okay.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that just speaks to me in so many ways. It talks about mental health. It talks about the state of the world. It's just very freaky in nature, a very experimental as far as the actual like um, I really appreciate great cinematography, and I think that it just covers every base. It blew me away the entire way through. The show is now over, and I don't think there was a bad season in it. So that's definitely my favorite one. Did you say movies? I wasn't.
Movies. That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still kind of like fresh, but uh, oh no, I'm not going to say it right. Everything, always,
I know which
everything
movie you're talking about.
all at once.
This is the Halocene.
Everything everywhere all at once.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
that pulled up. Yeah.
I watched it on the plane ride to Europe, our Europe tour, and I was like, this is the greatest cinematic masterpiece I've ever seen in my life. Like it truly, or at least like of our modern day. Like nothing like that has really like blown me away the way that did. Um, and so yeah, I would pick that one as my favorite.
I would agree. It's a fantastic movie. If you
Mhm.
guys have not seen it, go see it. It's great. I'm sure it's out on streaming everywhere. Go watch it. But yeah, I also have to give a shout out to Mr. Robot as well. Absolutely love that. That's a fantastic TV show. Watch that if you haven't either. And again, I'm gonna show check out Holocene. They're also great. So we're continuing on that list of great things. So just listen. Check the links below. Um, the next question I have for you, Addie, is if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month, there's one album you could bring with you to listen to. What album would that be? I feel like a month's like nice. It's not too long. It's not too
That's
short.
not, yeah, not like for the rest of your life
I would
kind of
never
answer.
do that.
Next. I think I would choose the new Sleep Token album, which is not out yet. But I feel like
Wow.
that's what I would want to hear because it's still pretty fresh in my mind. And they're the kind of band where it's like you kind of miss stuff on the first listen. So it takes, and the songs are so long. So it kind of takes some time to like really kind of break it down. And I would love to hear like, I think just I would not be mad listening to that on repeat. We already do listen to it on repeat. So
I'm gonna be listening to it frame one as soon as it releases at midnight. I'm doing a live stream of the new album, so
nice.
I'm
Oh
very
my gosh.
excited. So hopefully, oh well, this will come out beyond past that, but check it out. It's in the video catalog. Go watch it. But the last question for you, Addie, as much as I'd like to just continue to talk to you because you're great and I appreciate you spending the time, but
Yeah.
this is a big question. I always try to put a cornerstone kind of question at the end of my interviews, and um, if it wasn't clear to you, obviously I love interviewing musicians. This is a large passion of mine. Um, and but I wanted to know, what continues to drive you, what fills your passion about making music, because we've talked about at the beginning of the interview for doing this for upwards of 15 years or even beyond that. I feel like, sometimes that drive can, really start to burn you out, or you could, feel some type of way about being a musician. But what kind of fills your cup in that way of just wanting to create and wanting to put out music and wanting to continue to do stuff with Halcyon?
Yeah, I mean, I it's super generic and expected, but the fans, they are what drives us. And not just like in a musical way, but just in my everyday life. Like I struggle with bipolar disorder, so I experience a lot of depression, and I get to very, very dark places very often, unfortunately. And they are what keeps me going. It pulls me out every single time. It's I don't like overextend myself too much, but it'll be where I'm just not feeling it, and but I have a live stream coming up. Let's go ahead and try and just see if I can do it. I get on there and somehow they just make me forget. They bring me out of it almost every single time, and it's a magical back and forth. And I think the fans say all the time that we help them with their mental health, and I think
Hmm.
it's a two-way street. I think it's very much both ways. We're so much a community. I'm very like deeply connected to them and everything that they're experiencing. And if we're able to bring a little bit of light to their lives, that's all that I want in my life.
That's amazing. I feel like I'm kind of the same way with my community. Like I want to really feel like I'm involved or invested in what they do, and like when anybody comments and they're like, I this guy just seems like he's genuine about it. People like, there's other people, other
Yeah.
interviewers I've had, and they're like, he just seems really genuine about it. And I think that's honestly the biggest compliment I can ever get, because I do truly love it. I do truly believe in this. And, it just gives me an opportunity to just highlight bands that, have been working at it for a couple years, and bands that have been working at it for a long time that still deserve that love, no matter, if you're a big or small band. And I appreciate you sharing that, bit about bipolarism. And I feel like it's more accepted, like this sort of mental health and stuff like that. And I've shared my struggles of going through depression and, stuff like that here on the channel. And I think it just goes to show that, even if you're experiencing your like lowest points in your life, that there's just such a great community of people that care about you as a person and as an individual, whether it be like, members of a band, people who do stuff like this, like there's just a community there for you. And I feel like if anything, I hope it gives you an opportunity to invest in those things, because there's a lot of people that share these same sort of burdens, and you can be able to share those experiences with other people, and other people can give you advice on what to do or how you should do it or whatever. And I think that that's really crucial and really important, and I'm glad that you guys have such a great community. I hope that some of those community people come over here, because I would absolutely
Oh
love to
yeah.
have that as well. But
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing your story, Addie, and obviously shout out to Brad and Joe, the guys. I'm very excited for what you guys have coming next So I am going to leave the floor to you. Tell the people what they have, you have going on in the next couple months. You do have a tour coming up, so feel free to chill. This is the chill time.
Oh, all right. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much. You've been so amazing, and I love all of your questions. It's been really genuine, like you said, and I just really appreciate your passion for music. I think it's kind of missing nowadays. So I
Oh,
really
thank you.
I sense that, and I feel that, and that's really really sweet. Yeah, so if you want to check out my band, it's Halocene, halocene.com. We have our new album Maleficent coming out May 19th, and yeah, we've got a tour coming up with Lauren Babic and Alpha Mega, and it's going to be super awesome. We're super stoked for it. So yeah, just subscribe to our YouTube channel, come by a Twitch live stream sometime, and request Avril Lavigne.
I feel like that's just you just trying to funnel the army to just be like, all right, skater boy, let's go. Like that 7 hours straight. Please don't do that. That would be I mean,
No,
I like
no,
it. I like Avril Lavigne, but
he's great and all that.
please
Yeah.
do not do that. I would beg of you. I would like to show up for a live stream and not have to listen to Skater Boy 5 times in a row.
Skater Boy
Uh
over and over.
they just keep spamming it. But seriously, Halocene, if you are like me and you have lived under a rock, it's time to unearth yourself. This is the moment right now where you unearth yourself from the rock. You go check all of the links in the description to go follow them on social media. I've already done that, so listen, I'm well behind the curve, but listen, I'm a part of the Halcyon army now, so listen, I'm here to serve. So go check them out. If you can go see them on tour, I'll leave links in the description to go buy tickets, go out and see them. I'm very excited. Hopefully, I'll be around to see them in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. Maybe we'll do another interview in person. Who knows? I don't know. Becky,
let's do it.
maybe we'll do that. So definitely go check them out. I'll also leave a links to their new album. Maleficent is out now, so check the links below. Go pick it up. If you enjoyed this interview, share, like, and subscribe. It goes a long way. And huge thanks to Addie for coming on and chatting with me tonight.
Thank you.